Nick Rushworth here for the French newspapers. We've got scandal in them today. When isn't there scandal in the French newspapers?
Hi to you, Stuart, and hi to everybody. Yes, of course, there are lots of scandals rumbling on in France all the time. I'm going to turn to the front page of Le Monde this Tuesday, which is looking at the Tapie affair. Now, what is the Tapie affair? It is about the businessman Bernard Tapie. He is a maverick, isn't he? A politician, a businessman based in Marseille, the former owner of Adidas, among many other things. So there you can see Le Monde's front page, Affaire Tapie, les courriers qui révèlent l'escroquerie. So that translates as the letters which show that there was a swindle. Now, this is to do with, according to Le Monde, the investigating judges in the Tapie case actually finding two letters. Both of those letters were written by Tapie's lawyers in 2006. Now, that letter is actually addressed to an arbitration judge, Pierre Estu, who subsequently to that date in 2006, early in 2007, signed a declaration saying that he had never had any consultation or note about the Tapie affair. So what's happened is that there is proof now, it seems, according to Le Monde, that there were two letters written to this arbitrating judge before he signed that declaration. So, of course, that points to inconsistencies at the very least. The arbitration judge in question, Pierre Estu, earned 300,000 euros for his job as arbitrator. He went on to award Bernard Tapie 403 million euros in that case between Adidas and Crédit Lyonnais. So, of course, this is on the front page of Le Monde, and it will be again this story because it's an unfolding scandal. Like, as I said right at the top, there are many of them, perhaps not a dozen scandals underway in France at the moment, but maybe at least half a dozen, aren't there, Stuart?
Yeah, exactly. Inconsistencies is the word, I think. Also in the hot seat for the French press this Tuesday, the former French President Nicolas Sarkozy.
Well, before we had two letters, now we have one letter, and this time it is from Nicolas Sarkozy himself, and it is addressed to his supporters in the UMP. That's the party he used to be head of. Now, Nicolas Sarkozy is thanking them. There you can see. He writes to the donors of the UMP for the Sarkothon. He's managed to raise 8.3 million euros so far.
Right.
Remember, he was fined, not fined as such, but he was penalised 11 million euros in state subsidies because the judges ruled that he overshot his spending limits in the 2012 election campaign, which he lost, of course. Now, Sarkozy has managed to get 8.3 million euros. That's it's pretty impressive. Yeah, but there was a deadline, wasn't there? There was a deadline which was this Wednesday, the 31st of July, so that's tomorrow in the coming hours. Now, that deadline to raise a full 11 million euros actually is no longer a problem for him because the bank that is the bank for the UMP has said, we'll give you an extra 2 months. So that's in the bag as far as that's concerned.
He hopes, anyway. Now, and bizarrely, I'm very confused by this next story. One socialist is chipping in to the Sarkothon.
Well, this is great political stuff. A guy in the south of France, Christian Bourquin, he's the president of the Languedoc-Roussillon region. He said, yes, Mr. Sarkozy, I'll give you 150 euros. So he's chipped in and given them money. And he says, this is all about democratic pluralism. We can't let the other side go down. The UMP is in a financially disastrous position. But, of course, there is a self-interest in this. He says, well, when it comes time for the municipal elections next year, and we have the whole question of alliances with the National Front, you will remember my gesture of Republican spirit, won't you? So, of course, he's put his 150 euros on the table, but he's expecting something in return, which is actually political deals in March that will perhaps suit the Socialists.
I wonder if they'll get it. Now, world news also getting plenty of attention in the French press today.
Well, this is the Pope. He's made a remarkable impromptu session, hasn't he, with journalists on the plane back from Rio. And he said things like, well, this whole question of the gay lobby, I've never actually seen an ID card with the word gay on it at the Vatican. So a sense of humour from the Pope there. You can see him actually being very close, not very pontifical on the plane. And more seriously, he's made this statement, which is being picked up all over the press, which is, if someone is gay and searches for the Lord with goodwill, then who am I to judge? So that we'll be hearing more about, won't we?
Nick, thanks very much. Nick with the French Press Review here on France 24.